Do you think it's just a honey badger? A small animal with short legs and a funny gait. There are lions in the savannah, there are leopards, there are hyenas. But there is one with whom even they prefer not to mess. It's not the biggest, it's not the fastest, and it's definitely not the most beautiful. But he lives where a mistake costs a life. Eats what others are afraid to approach, and turns every fight into a problem. This is not a story about strength. This is a story about stubbornness, which breaks the calculations of predators. Do you still think it's just a honey badger? Honey badger does not live where it is convenient. He chooses a space where the environment itself tests you for strength every day. African savannas, semi-deserts, rocky plains, sparse shrubs, scorched grass, cracked soil. There is no stability here. It all depends on the season, rain and chance. During the day, the temperature rises so high that the air begins to tremble, the earth gets hot, and the smell of dry dust hangs in space. At night, another world comes, cold, dark, full of sounds. Rustling in the grass can mean prey, or it can mean danger. In this environment, you can't be relaxed, you can't be slow, you can't be weak. The honey badger does not build long-term shelters. He is not the architect of complex burrows with emergency exits for years to come. His strategy is easier and more effective to dig up, use, leave. In a matter of minutes, he can dig a deep hole in solid soil. If a place ceases to be safe, he does not protect it to the last. He just disappears and moves on. It is not tied to one landscape. It can be found at the dried-up riverbeds of the eyelids, in the thickets of acacia, on the border. Agricultural land. If there is food nearby, it adapts. His world is not a specific point on the map, it is a radius of constant movement. During the night, the honey badger can walk several kilometers, low to the ground, confidently, without unnecessary pauses. He's not rushing around, he's exploring. Every smell, every trace of information. He lives in continuous search mode. This territory is not about comfort, it's about environmental pressure, about competition, about bigger and faster predators. But the honey badger does not look superfluous in it. He is not a guest, he is part of the survival mechanism. Where others need stability, perseverance is enough for him. Where others are waiting for the right moment, he creates it himself. And in this merciless geography, he feels not like a victim, but a participant in a game where the rules are simple: move, dig, find, survive. If you look at the honey badger from afar, it does not give the impression of a giant. His height at the withers is about 25 to 30 cm, body length is about 70 to 80 cm, weight on average from 9 to 14 kg. By the standards of savannah, an almost imperceptible figure. No lion, no hyena, no leopard. Just a compact animal, low to the ground. But this is where the deception begins. His body is short and dense, as if assembled without unnecessary details. The legs are powerful, with long claws, adapted to digging and holding prey. The neck is thick and muscular. The jaws are strong, capable of crushing bones and holding wriggling prey. It's not elongated or elegant, it's functional. The main weapon is leather. On the back and neck, it can reach several millimeters in thickness. This is a dense, rough layer that is difficult to bite through. But even more important is her mobility. The skin sits loosely on the body. If a predator grabs it from above, the honey badger is able to twist inside the grip and bite back. It's not a trick, it's an anatomy turned into a strategy. The low center of gravity makes it stable. It is difficult to overturn it, it is difficult to hold it. He moves with short, confident steps, as if he is constantly ready for contact. There is no ostentatious grace in it, but there is stability. The numbers say a small animal. Reality shows a compact survival machine. In a world where size often determines status, the honey badger is an exception. He doesn't win by mass, he wins by design. His height is not frightening, his weight is not impressive. But when the collision begins, it becomes clear. It's not about centimeters and kilograms, it's about how they are used. The honey badger does not have a complex strategy of intimidation. He does not inflate his mane, does not show size, does not try to look bigger than he is. His character is simpler and more dangerous. If there is a threat, he does not waste time on doubts. His reaction is moving forward. He does not seek conflict for the sake of spectacle, but if a collision is inevitable. The honey badger is not limited to warnings. He hisses, growls, rushes sharply and low, aiming at vulnerable places. His attack is not chaotic, it is direct and persistent. It was as if he had made a decision beforehand. Retreat is an extreme option. One of the most striking features of his resistance to pain and poison. Honeyeaters hunt snakes, including no poisonous. A bite can temporarily paralyze it, slow it down, literally turn it off for a while. But often hours later, he wakes up and continues. It's not immortality or magic, it's high physiological stability and a powerful nervous system. But from the outside it looks almost like a challenge to nature. He acts alone. There is no pack that will cover his back. There are no partners who will distract the enemy. All he has are his own teeth, claws, and stubbornness. And this is enough to create a problem even for a larger opponent. His pain threshold is higher than that of many animals of this size. Injury doesn't always stop him right away. He can continue to be protected, even injured. This is bad news for a predator. Any fight with a honey badger is not a quick prey, but the risk of getting a bite that will take a long time to heal. And there is another tool, protective sharp smell, which he can use in a critical situation. This is an extreme measure, but it adds another layer to his defense. Honey badger does not calculate the battle as a strategist, he acts on the principle of directness. If you invade, he responds. If you threaten, he shortens the distance. There is no ostentatious cruelty in his character, there is stubbornness brought to the limit. And that's what makes it dangerous, neither the size nor the speed, but the willingness to go to the end. Even when logic tells you to stop. The name honey badger is not an accident. Honey is not a rare dessert for him, but a goal for which he is ready to endure pain. A beehive is not an open plate. These are thousands of stingers, collective defense, the chaos of wings, and the rage of the swarm. But the honey badger goes straight to the center. He tears the hive with his claws, breaks the honeycomb, ignores the bites, and tears out the sticky prey, along with the larvae. His thick fur and dense skin reduce damage, but the sting still hits, and yet he does not retreat. He doesn't romanticize the process, he's practical. He needs calories, and he takes them. But honey, it's not limited to bird eggs, nestlings, grosney, lizards, snakes, insects, larvae, carrion. Fruits, roots. The diet of the honey badger broad and without sentimentality. If the loot is hidden underground, he will dig it up. If she's in a tree, she'll find a way to get there. Honey badger, persistent cracker of nature. His claws work like shovels and crowbars at the same time. It can destroy a nest of termites, open a rodent's nest, ruin a clutch in the ground. He checks the smells, listens to faint rustles, analyzes the traces. Nothing is too difficult if there is food. Sometimes he uses the surrounding objects to gain access to food. He drags stones, climbs over bumps, looks for a foothold. These are not random actions, but consistent attempts to achieve results. For other animals, a hive is a risk, a deep burrow is an obstacle, a high nest is protection. For a honey badger, it's just a task. He does not divide food into difficult and simple, he divides it into accessible and not yet. And most often, it doesn't last long yet. The wild nature has no heroism, there is calculation. When a large predator sees a honey badger, it is not available. Thinks about courage or reputation. He evaluates the benefits. How much power will it take? What is the chance of injury? How fast can the fight be completed? Honey bad investment. It is small in size. There's not enough meat in it to justify a serious risk. But to get it, you need to make contact. And contact with a honey badger is bites, resistance, sudden movements, the possibility of getting injured. For a predator, any injury is a threat to the future. A damaged paw means the inability to hunt, an infected wound weakening hunger. In a world where the most efficient survives, it's stupid to waste energy on prey that will fight to the last. That is why often is a simple decision to choose another target. Gazelle is easier to catch. A young ungulate is safer to attack. Even if the honey badger is theoretically victorious, it is irrational as prey. He was listed in the Dino's Book of Records as one of the most fearless animals. But it's not about fearlessness. The fact is that he changes the calculation. It makes the fight too costly. Sometimes large predators really attack it. And sometimes the honey badger loses. He's not invulnerable. But the very fact that the enemy has to think seriously already says a lot. There are no emotions in savanna. There is an economy of energy. And in this economy, the honey badger is an asset with high risk and low profit. Therefore, even the strongest often pass by not out of fear, but out of cold calculation.